just arrived at Tully Lake Recreation Area in Royalston, Mass. It's on the way to Royalston Falls. I've driven by it, I've never actually explored it. Apparently there's a whole bunch of trails around the lake. So I walked down to the lakefront a little bit. I don't know if the water level is unusually high or it's supposed to be like this, but you can see there's a dock here that's just barely above the water line. Yeah, very cool. Look how low this is to the water line. But the water is absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna have to take a picture of that. This is a gorgeous little lake. I guess it's also a reservoir. I don't think it's used for drinking anymore if they converted it to a recreation area. So I walked back up to the parking lot from the lakeshore. This is the start of the trail that goes for several miles upstream that I was looking at on that map earlier. I have actually been to Dunn Falls many times. I've shot there. It's also an arboretum here, and they've tagged a lot of these trees. This is a red maple. Here the sign says Scenic Point right down the side trail. It looks to go out in a little peninsula. Another side trail says Beaver Pond, 300 feet that way, which is not far at all, so let's take it. This is Beaver Pond, which is not part of the reservoir, but a little pond upstream. It's very green, very silty water. Kind of pretty though. There's another lookout point with a bench over here. Let's check this out. Oh yeah, this water has character, all right. As I was heading back down to the main trail, I stopped back at that first lookout point, and I didn't notice this the first time, but this is a crude earthen dam. I'm not sure if that was put by beavers or humans or both. So I've been walking maybe a 3/4 of a mile from Tully Lake. You get to a road here, but it looks like you don't take the road. You kind of parallel it for, not sure how far that goes. I guess this trail is part of the Tully Lake Triathlon. It's kind of cool. Wonder what the other two sports are. I noticed there's a trail that actually continues along the lakeshore for maybe a 1/3 of a mile out to some peninsulas and stuff. I'm not doing anything else today, so I thought I'd go out there and have a look. I'm liking this trail already. It takes you out in this little isthmus, this little embankment here. You can see it's all marsh on this side and all lake on the other side. Love trails like this. So as we go a few miles upstream, you notice that it starts to turn into a deep gorge here with these high ledges on either side of the brook. And I thought this landscape looked familiar, so I looked at my GPS tracking app, and I hiked out to those ledges, I think 4 winters ago. And I remember it was late in the day. I went out to shoot sunset, which was at like 4:30. I had just hiked all day. I had no source of light with me aside from my phone, which had a 10% charge when I left my car. So I went out there, I flew my drone somehow and had maybe 1% charge on my phone after that. It was pitch black. I start rushing back to my car as fast as I can. A 1/4 of the way back, my phone light goes out. I now just have, thank God the full moon was out. I had some moonlight and I just kind of navigated upstream up this brook, and man, I was so scared. I somehow got back to my car, but I did not take an easy way whatsoever. But yeah, that's my story from these ledges up here. So I'm gonna turn around here. This brook actually goes all the way up to Royalston Falls, which is where I originally wanted to go today. So I don't feel like spending the whole day here. So I'm gonna turn back. But yeah, a beautiful day for a hike and a beautiful trail at Tully Lake. I'm at the trailhead for Royalston Falls. Someone has removed all trail information here. I'm not sure why. It's a busy day. There must be 20 cars parked. But right next to the trailhead, where you start, is this really old cemetery that is really cool. I'm gonna get in there and look around at some of the old gravestones. So here's some gravestones buried in 1853. Someone buried in 1860. So this place was settled fairly after the American Revolution. More gravestones. Also 1838, 1832. Russell Wheeler died December 3rd, 1825. He was an American Revolutionary War vet. Some even older gravestones over by the other edge of the cemetery. Died December 19th, 1794. Spit it out, Matt. Died 1794, so this must be the generation prior to that last one. And over here, there's a section of the cemetery all cordoned off. I guess they really don't want people disturbing these gravestones. But there's some right up against the edge, at least I can look at. I'll respect the space and not go inside of it. So the gravestones range from around 1794 to 1870s, I think, the latest one I've seen. Whatever settlement was here, they only lasted around 3 generations, it looks like. Alright, let's keep going up the trail to the waterfall. We're getting further along down the trail. I'm maybe 1.5 miles from the trailhead. You can see it starts getting much hillier. We're definitely going downhill. The trail becomes a de facto waterfall, so make sure you have the right boots. But I think we're heading to the bottom right down beyond that ridge, which is a gorge, and at the bottom is Royalston Falls. At this point, we cross over the brook and you kind of just walk downstream. I forgot how long it is. It might be 1 mile downstream. And then you get to the real waterfall. But there's a bunch of cool trees and stumps and roots and places to shoot along the way. And there's a cute little bridge right here too. Look at this beautiful spot right here. A little private pond. There's some beautiful formations. Very cool. Beautiful day for a hike. They rope it off up here. You can see why. That's a good 60-foot drop from there down to the water. The trail starts taking you down this beautiful little gorge. It's pretty much the only way to get to the bottom of the waterfall, where I want to set up my tripod and get some really intimate shots. You can see it hidden behind that cove. I zoom in. I really want to get right in the armpit of that thing. Okay, we're coming right up over the center. There you go. There she is roaring up ahead. I can't really get any closer on this trail I'm on. So I just skedoodled my way up that cliff right there to get to the top of that ridge. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm right up at the top of the waterfall. I can just walk right down there. Almost directly overhead the pit right here. And you can see how the gorge continues. Up on the top of that ridge, on the other side of the brook. And there you can see. I think I'm actually just gonna walk this side of the ridge all the way back to my car. So I'm coming back down Route 32 from Royalston Falls, and I underestimated just how long the days are this time of year. I thought that hike would go a lot longer than it did. It's still only 3 o'clock. So I'm gonna stop at that Tully Lake I was at before and just kind of chill for a little while. I mean, I have hours to kill. I'm gonna see if I can get up close to this outflow dam type construction up here. It is quite tall. It's a sturdy structure and it has a water level marking on it. The top marking goes to 58 feet. I wonder if that means they can let the water rise another 30 feet or so. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, this dam can potentially hold a lot of water. I know I said I was going to go in the lake, which is around the lakeshore anyway, which is in that direction. But behind me, there's this old trail some kind of industrial road. It was paved at one point. It goes down along the highway in a kind of industrial area. I kind of want to check it out. So here I am coming up on this area. I think this might be one of those emergency outflow type things that they build in dams off to the sides. You can see water could potentially flow. I get it, out of the lake, down this barrier, through that ravine into God knows where, I guess Connecticut River or something. You can see from eye level now, this is, I'd say, around 25 feet above the water level that's in the lake right now. So if it gets above that, it starts pouring out this outflow. God, imagine seeing water roar down this ravine. So there's this little placard here about the Wildlife Habitat Project. Apparently this whole area of the dam in 2007, they converted it, planted hundreds of species of native plants that had become displaced through these invasive species. And these are all the different birds that have been coming back into the area. Some warblers and yellowthroats. And some bird I've never seen before. You can see way off in the distance, there's the dam. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But that's where we parked, that's where we started. We're on the exact opposite side of the lake. Well, changing plans, I did not stay at Tully Lake for sunset. And this is Dunn State Park, that's right in Gardner, where I'm staying. I'm gonna try to shoot the sunset here. It's got a nice lake, a nice shoreline, and sunset's in about 20 minutes, so I need to get set up. There's a nice little ledge right here on the north side of the lake. I might shoot here. Neat little composition with the rocks and the island right there. Yeah, this might be a good idea.